Good morning, everyone. Glad you're watching. Glad you're back. If you've been here before, if not, we're glad to have you. We should have a pretty good video for you today. You're gonna get, typical morning chores taken care of here with the horses and the cow herd. They're gonna head up the road, look at the stocker steers, feed them a little, and then we're headed to the other side of the county to help my brother with a project that he's really been itching to get done. He and I both had ordered a fair bit more cattle equipment, some handling some panels, basically set up for some holding pens, load and shoot, that sort of thing, squeeze shoot. So get to see all those new toys we got. But get his pen set up. That's the big project for the day. It's kind of wet and nasty. We've had a little over an inch of rain in the last 24 hours. But anyway, appreciate you watching. Again, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, we appreciate that too. But let's get after it. All right, gave all the cows a little feed. It's that's cooled off the last couple of days. It's still not cold by any means. It's been a little bit nasty, raining, but they're in good shape. Got to put some hay out for them actually yesterday on my lunch break, but you can see it's already about 5 minutes after 7. It's still dark, so I don't know. Time changes here in a week, and I guess I would say I'm maybe one of the few people I know that doesn't hate the time change. Don't necessarily love it, but nobody likes for it to get dark at 4:30 in the afternoon, which it will be here before long. But to get a little more daylight on the front end, yeah, I won't say that I hate that. During the week, I try to be down the other farm already checking stocker steers by now, and doing that in the dark just isn't great. So yeah, I guess I try to be a little more glass half full, look at it on the bright side, see the pun there, and kind of appreciate the time change from that stance. But got another week of doing things in the dark in the mornings. But that said, we're gonna load up and head down to that farm and check on those boys. So there's all the stocker steers, 70 of them right here. As you can see, a little moist. I would be happy if it did not rain anymore for the next few weeks until we get these boys shipped off. We do have some gravel, around the load and shoot and whatnot. We should be able to get a truck in and out, even if it is a little wet. But if it's dry, that makes it even nicer. But yeah, typical farmer fashion. We complained for the last 3 months about how dry it's been, and now we're gonna complain about the mud. But the boys all look pretty good. So we've got the one sick one. We'll go see, that we showed in the last video. We'll see if we can find him. He's been hanging in there. That's about all you can say, but he has been hanging in there. We got the other one that doesn't look very good. He's actually over there eating. So he's, hanging in there, maybe just one notch, better than old. Was it number 59? Can't remember. I think it's number 59 is the one that's been in bad shape. But see if we can find him. Then I'm gonna go pick up the wild man. I think he's gonna go help set up that pen, maybe a little breakfast, and then go join my brother. Well, the sick steer, number 59, I actually can't find him. He's not in the spot where he'd been kind of laying in the same general area every day. So I'm gonna look at that as a good sign. I mean, I knew he had been getting up and moving a little bit each day. He was having to get to water, and he wouldn't be in the exact same spot as I get tongue-tied. But he's nowhere along the fence row where he had been lounging. So, I mean, again, the reality, the odds of him, coming out of whatever this is and ever being okay aren't good, but a bit of a good sign that he obviously got up and moved, a significant distance yesterday because he's nowhere around. But we're not going to spend a whole lot of time looking for him this morning. There's not really much we can do for him anyway, and we got other stuff to do. Sadie is really enjoying herself this morning. Normally she gets to come with me every day, but 2 days ago she got skunked. Thankfully we were at the house, so I didn't have to load her back in the Jeep or anything with me for the ride home. But yeah, before daylight one morning out the barn, found a skunk. So she has not had privileges of riding anywhere with me for the last few days, but the smell is mostly worn off. I can only assume she maybe did not take a direct head. So yeah, just got a couple of days of stored up energy ready to run off, but she's leading the way. So made it over here to my brother's place, and you can see we got some stuff over there. We got a few gates and some panels there. Willis is testing out the new squeeze chute. There's a palpation cage, some more panels out there. So, and I apologize, it's windy. It's not very pleasant. I don't know how much, feedback or, wind interference is gonna sound on the audio, but what we're gonna do, basically get it set up where when the truck comes to get the cattle, just back right in here. He's not gonna have it set up the way it will be permanently, because obviously at some point we'll also use this pin to run them through a chute. But yeah, and the chute at my farm, the Powder River that's green, I don't know if you ever remember any of those videos, goes with this setup that he had gotten. Actually, a friend gave it to him. He has really good friends. So we're gonna bring that chute over here, and then I bought a new chute. But anyway, gonna get this set up. I think we both agreed we're gonna move this over just a little bit this way to line up better. Then we'll have the loading chute probably sitting somewhere in here. I'm gonna have to get it, put it together, and then get somebody out here to weld it. I weld a very little, but we're definitely gonna leave that to a professional. I'm gonna try to get this pin set up and get it ready to go, because we're gonna be loading cattle out of here in less than 3 weeks. What are you gonna say? So we've got pretty much the tub, the sweep tub, pretty well put together. Got to put these, this part goes in the bottom, kind of keeps everything spaced as it should, and then on top give it a little more rigidity, I guess. And then we'll start building our pin off out here, where we'll crowd them up and into here, and then yeah, just load them out right through there, truck back right through the gate, which is going to extend out a little further, because we're going to have, I think we got some 10-foot panels, and then the chute itself, so the truck will be just barely back through the gate there. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we got all those up there. I think we're going to hold off on the bottom part for now, because one, obviously that one needs a good bit of work on it. It's pretty rigid as it is. I think it'll be perfectly fine. Long term, when he gets this thing set up exactly where he wants it, may take the time to add that as well. But of course, ultimately, eventually we'll have it set, or he'll have it set where he'll have a squeeze chute here off on the front, and we'll devise some way to have a load out off the side of this thing that'll then go to his loading ramp or loading chute, and we'll just have to think about how he wants to do that long term. But for right now, we're not worried about having a chute for my working chute, squeeze chute. It's just getting them on the truck. So now we're gonna fashion a pin off of this, probably going around that way, where you can see he's got this smaller pin here, just with these wire panels, where he feeds them in here a good bit, which, like we talked earlier, you can see a dirt spot there. Pretty muddy right now where he's had his bunks, but yeah, get a pin built up around here, and then we're gonna load up what we're taking back to our place. But about 10 o'clock, we might be done with this by lunch. All right, so we had a little more help showed up, Nick and Cam, but got the pin set up, I think, pretty well. May not be perfect. Got it where he's gonna feed them in here in this bigger pen. Get the bunks moved in here, and then we can crowd them on up in here, run them around there into the tub. We're gonna get the loading chute set up now, and then I'll have to get it welded together. Willis helping drive the tractor. Okay, so there is the loading chute basically. But we got to get these two pieces welded together, and then of course those are the top side rails or whatever that'll go in it, and then we'll attach it to all this. But yeah, got to get a professional welder out here to take care of that in the next few days. But now we're going to load up that squeeze chute and a few of those panels and all that are mine, and get them back to our house. And All right, got her loaded up. It's not going anywhere. Famous last words. Yeah, loaded up, ready to get this home. We will probably worry with getting it unloaded and all that at a later date. But at least get it back to our side of the county. Wild man getting buckled up in there. We're ready to roll. Made it back home with that set up. All of the palpation cage is actually going to stay here. We'll put it down there, and we'll have to move the chute, you know, 2 or 3 feet to make room for it. Well, we'll get it set up at some point. Don't have any plans of palpating any cows anytime soon or anything. We're going to run some calves through there and we get them weaned. But the rest of this is going up the road to the other farm. I don't probably not going to do that today. It's just it's nasty. It's muddy. It's already about 12:30, and probably try to hang around the house, get a little family time more today, with the full family, not just me and the wild man. But maybe tomorrow I'll get that unloaded, or next week, and get our pen completely set up. Oh, the wild man emerges. He took him a little nap on the ride home. But see, also we did get a little like gravel spread the other day. Now that it's rained, definitely got a few soft spots where we need to put down a little more. But I was happy with how we got it. We kind of lowered this right here where all that water would run away from the building. I think that's about exactly like we want it. But probably got just enough of that limestone left to put just a little more of a layer on here and have that little project done. But we do need to put some feed in the creek feeder for the calves. They've run out. They're only going to be in there with even any access to it for another week. Thinking maybe next week you can get them weaned. Definitely in the next 2 weeks, but we'll get something else done. Well, in the spirit of there always being something that pops up, we certainly have something. I was just getting ready to put a little feed in the creek feeder for the calves. Cows were kind of curious walking around, and looks like somebody has a prolapse. It's gonna be number 522, I'm pretty sure. Hereford cow. So I spoke way too soon about thinking I wouldn't need the palpation cage anytime soon, because although we're not gonna have it set up, it would certainly come in handy here in the next few minutes, because we're no doubt gonna be at least elbow deep in a cow's rear end, replacing that. But she's a pretty gentle cow, thankfully. Now, with the exception of 2 or 3, they're all pretty gentle. Everybody looks up. No, there's the problem. So, just for clarification, like, that's normal, that's normal, that's normal. Abby normal right there. So, just in case you've never seen a prolapse, that is not, or never seen a prolapse, that's what they should not look like. So, at least she was easy to catch. I need to go, I guess, get some stuff. Probably be a good idea to bring some sugar down here. I was gonna have to go to the grocery store this afternoon anyway. Thought I was gonna have a leisurely afternoon doing a few things like that, but probably will need to add sugar to the list now, because I would imagine we're probably gonna use a bag of it right there. But hey, been a little while since we did a prolapse replacement on video. So, hey, at least we'll have that to show you guys, and may worry about the creek feeder a little more later on. It's a little bit of a bonus. It's a tiny little rectal prolapse to go along with the bigger issue with the giant prolapse as well. So we can get this calf to walk out. All right. Now you can step in there, mama. Step on in there. Step on up. Step on up, girl. Go on. Step on up. Step on up. She's a pretty big cow. She's not. Let's open the head gate. Step on up there. I know. You know there's always a trick. Step on up, baby girl. Thankfully she's not too quick. A little squeeze on her. So what's a little bit frustrating, troubling, however you want to look at it, all the cows are bred with the exception of There's one cow and one heifer that we actually did not sell that are not bred. She's bred, but not due to calve. I have to look. Like our earliest calving cow should not calve until middle of February. So it's what, October 30th, so November, December. Yeah, she has 3.5 months at minimum before she would calve. So I don't know, usually a later term gestation issue, but anyway, we'll see if we can get it replaced and get a stitch put in her. Okay, so as is kind of the standard for me in this operation, don't have an extra set of hands, so I'm gonna try to film it the best we can. See if we can get this rectal tissue back. Yeah, where we should be. Okay. That was pretty easy. Let's just try and push it back out. Okay, definitely can feel that there. Okay, so I've gone ahead and made the determination that we are definitely going to need the sugar. It's much bigger than we're going to be able to push back until we get some of the edema out. And I've talked about this before with the prolapse. Not on this cow, before we have somebody point out that I shouldn't have kept her if she prolapsed. It was a different cow that prolapsed when we previously did this. But the sugar acts just as an osmotic to draw the edema fluid out of the prolapse tissue, making it a little smaller and easier to replace. But just kind of put a layer of that all around and give it some time to do its magic. You can see all that fluid dripping off. We still got quite a bit to go. We'll probably give it maybe 10 or 15 minutes to pull as much of it out of there as we can. This is when, yeah, again, it would be nice to have a palpation cage, because it would essentially, it would sit right here, so I wouldn't have to walk all the way back there to the end and out that gate, which that's not too big of an inconvenience, but it's really nice when you have a bunch of cows that you're running through here palpating for pregnancy or drawing blood or anything else, and you know, it's just easy access. But hey, we could have gone ahead and used it if we'd had it set up, but this always happens. Like, my dad's out of town, he has a lot more experience with these than I do. None in recent, you know, years really, but certainly from his early days in practice, did a lot of cattle work. But let's see if we can get it taken care of. So about to do something I've never tried before, pretty much just because I've never really had to, but we're gonna go ahead and give her an epidural, or at least make an attempt at one. She is pushing against us, and despite me talking to her and trying to explain to her that that's counterproductive, she won't stop. And so see if we can get an epidural to take effect, numb this area up where she'll quit pushing, and maybe we can get this thing back in, because I feel I've had it nearly a couple of times and she just will start pushing. I'm worn out. I really thought maybe she'd wear out before I did, but no, I underestimated her. So see if we can get this epidural in, see if it'll take effect, see if that will allow us to replace the prolapse. We'll see. So we'll see. We'll give her a few minutes, see if that takes any effect and does anything, and kind of go from there. But she's running out of options. She really needs to work with us. But yeah, I believe it has actually gotten smaller. I don't know, maybe you guys can be a judge of that as well, just with all the fluid that we've drawn out with the sugar, and it's still dripping. So the combination of continuing to allow that, hopefully with the epidural taking effect and her being numb enough not to push against us, maybe we'll eventually get this thing back in. But don't ever let anybody tell you having cows is fun. because as soon as it starts to seem fun and you think you have a Saturday afternoon where you're going to spend some time with the family, watch a little football, you know, so on and so forth, yeah, something like this happens. Okay, so let's see. Tail is fairly limp. I don't know if that means much, but as far as her pushing against me, I think we are in much better shape. Too, with it being muddy, I don't know if you can tell, as I'm trying to get traction and push right here, my feet are just sliding. So, yeah, all sorts of challenges. Okay, ever so slowly but surely we're getting there. You can see there, the bladder's been entrapped in here. So, getting her to work. Urethral opening has allowed her to pass some urine. I feel like it's helped. And the epidural has helped. But as you can see right there, she is still fighting me. With every ounce that she still has left. Right. I've been saying this for an hour, but if she'd quit pushing, we'd have it whipped. Feel like if I get her to pass some more urine, that'd help too. Oh, she's just wearing me out. Don't skip arm day if you plan on having cows and dealing with problems such as this. I'm bad about only doing cardio for my workouts. Might have got a little bit of bodily fluids in my mouth right then. All right, baby. You'll quit pushing. All right, all right, all right. Maybe I can see the finish line. No, don't you do it. No, don't you do it. Stop, please, girl, stop. Touchdown. We're not gonna do the touchdown dance quite yet, but oh, sweet Lord baby Jesus. God only knows if she, or even more of a question, the calf as well is gonna be okay. But we are replaced. We're about to put a stitch in her. Then we're gonna go take a shower. Oh my goodness. Okay, so feel pretty confident in our epidural. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a tiny stab incision at the top and at the bottom of the vulva to put our stitch through. Insert our Buhner needle. Incision there. Yeah, she's not reacting to this at all. So that is a good sign. Got our Buhner with umbilical tape. Lovely sound effects. Alright, where's our incision up here? There we go. I'll pass it back down the other side. Go right back in that same little stab incision. Okay. So, clamp that right there. Okay. And traditionally, when you get right here, you know, some people will just tie this in a knot. What we're going to do is actually what a friend of mine showed me, which is a really, pretty simple but genius idea. We're gonna, I believe they call it a barth blowout stitch. Idea being, if we just tied this in a knot, this is like shoelace, literally. I mean, it's that thick. It will not break. It will not tear. You see some awful outcomes where a cow tries to calve and that stitch is still in and just completely tears her rear end because she has to calve around the stitch. And this kind of solves that problem. Again, she should not be calving based on our dates for like 3 more months. But to make sure that we don't run into any issues, I'm gonna get the degree of tension I want. She's about run out of patience with me, which I hate to tell her. The feeling's mutual. All right, she should not be able to prolapse through that. We're gonna take some heavy gauge, like number 3, non-absorbable suture. We're gonna tie it in a little mattress pattern through this stitch, through the umbilical tape, I guess I should say. And we won't actually tie the tape itself in a knot. It's plenty strong enough. It should, which should, of course, being the key word, hold the prolapse well within place, while at the same time being, kind of a weak enough system where if she tries to push against it and calve against it, it will give way. So we shall see. First time I have used it, but kind of takes out the headache of having to watch closely, and cut the stitch out right before she were to calve. At least that's the idea anyway. I'll trim all that a little shorter in just a second. Be sure we still have it clean, tight enough that everything holds in. Definitely loose enough she can still urinate. But we're gonna give her a dose of antibiotics. Yeah, this was a lot more of a challenge than it probably should have been. I'm worn out. I am a bloody, and of course, there's some urine too, no doubt, because her bladder was just kind of entrapped there. Once we got her to kind of where she could relieve herself, it made that a little easier. We're a bit muddy, but yeah, the old Anderson beans have seen better days. But yeah, this went from an afternoon of, I was gonna, just kind of ride through the cows, check on them. Kind of planned on going to town and going for a little, short run. Go to the grocery store. Gonna have some friends over tonight to watch World Series and some football. But no, number 522 had different plans. Now we fast forward about 24 hours, primarily because the battery on the GoPro died right as we were finishing up replacing the prolapse. But that's 522 right there. And let's see, earlier this morning I know everything was still in place. There's the other cows in the way. But yeah, looking good. You can just barely see the end of our suture there. So far so good. Not quite 24 hours, but now that we've gotten that done, gotten her checked on, that'll probably just about wrap it up for this video. We had thought we might get that equipment unloaded that we hauled, the stuff that was mine, but it's still sitting up there on the trailer. That'll probably be maybe the next video, or who knows, it may sit on the trailer for a little while. But just keep watching. We're gonna get some calves weaned here real soon. Gonna be loading and shipping off some stocker steers in just a little over 3 weeks. May do some videoing too with my dad's operation, my dad and my uncles, where they need to get their calves off the cows, weaned. Not sure if they're just gonna sell them right off the cow, which is not necessarily ideal, but some people certainly do it. Or if we may try to bring them down here to our place or to the other farm, get them weaned, vaccinated for at least 45 days or so, add a little value to them. But I don't know. We got a lot of irons in the fire right now. I don't know that I need to be taking on another project like that, but it would really help them out, would add some value to those calves. But anyway, keep watching. We appreciate you doing that. I'm gonna go up here and see if I can find, I got a cow that keeps getting out. Spot on the fence. I don't know where it's been. I've been looking. She's going over somewhere because there's no holes in the fence. But now that it's a little wet and muddy, maybe I'll be able to see where she's getting out, because I just ran her back in again. But anyway, we'll go look for that. But I appreciate y'all watching. Again, give it a thumbs up if you haven't already. And if you aren't subscribed, please do that. Y'all remember to eat beef and God bless. All right, so found the spot where she's getting out. Shouldn't be a terrible fix. There's my driveway right there. But yeah, clearly where she's been coming and going. Fence up through here we know is not great. It's really old. It's just this old web wire with no barbed wire running top right now. But we're about to remedy that. It's been a spot, of course, because it is, again, right along the driveway where we keep a pretty close eye on it. So even though it hasn't been the best fence, I hadn't worried about it too much. Whoop, I'm about to fall. But we'll get that fixed, and we'll see you on the next one.